Hi, I'm Nikki. Welcome to Nightly Haven, where shadows and the dark don't always appear to be what they are. Now, I got this recommendation for one of my subscribers, and I like to make my subscribers happy, so we're going to dive into the haunted veins of Berwick, Pennsylvania. Fear tingles down your spine and hairs stand on end. Mysteries unknown and tales in the dark. Are you ready? Hello? Some towns sleep quietly under the streetlights, and then there's Berwick, Pennsylvania, a place that doesn't sleep at all. Not because it's busy, but because something else is awake. Tonight in Nightly Haven, we're stepping into a place locals whisper about, but rarely discuss out loud. A place knotted together by superstition, strange deaths, Victorian hauntings, and geographical anomalies so unsettling it earned the nickname the Witch's Triangle. And if that isn't enough, we'll visit a mansion owned by a family who loved their wealth but couldn't escape the ghost. And we'll stand over a grave that hides a secret beneath an iron hood. So if you feel like someone's watching you tonight, don't worry. It's probably just Berwick tuning in. You see, Berwick has a strange patch of land locals call the Witch's Triangle, not because the witches were caught brewing potions under the moon, but because this section of land is cursed with an unusual number of accidents, vanishings, and, well, things no one can quite explain. This triangle, made of roads that never seem to be built straight, has been the site of unexplained car accidents, sudden gusts of wind that knock people flat, strange lights that flicker between the trees, and more reports of shadow figures than the town's police would ever admit. Local folklore claims the triangle marks the spot where in the 1700s a small group of settlers banished a woman accused of witchcraft. She never appeared in court because she never came back from the woods. Some say she died there. Others say she simply changed. But the part I love, the part that makes Berwick feel like Berwick, if you ask 3 locals about the Witch's Triangle, you'll get 3 different answers. One will swear it's just superstition. One will swear a witch still walks through there. And one won't say a single word. And these stories, they didn't just fade with time. A teenager in the 90s swore he hit a woman dressed in black, but when he ran out of the car, no body. Only a smoky smell drifting in the trees. A hunter found footprints in the mud, but they weren't human. He described them as half human, half goat. And in 2012, a couple hiking the area turned around when they heard whispering. Not one voice, but 3, speaking in unison. And listening when 3 voices whisper to me from the woods, I say, nope, and turn around. Pack up your granola bars and leave ASAP. Some paranormal investigators say the area behaves like a natural anomaly, a magnetic disturbance, a tear in the atmosphere, a doorway between here and something else. And hey, maybe it's nothing. Or maybe Berwick has its own little Bermuda Triangle, just fewer ships and more witches. So now we leave the woods and step into something more polished, or at least it used to be. The Jackson Mansion sits like a frozen echo of the Victorian era, built by Colonel Clarence Jackson, who loved 2 things: money and letting everyone know he had money. But wealth doesn't stop tragedy. First, a child died young. Then another relative fell down the stairs, but the angle of the fall never made sense. Some say she was pushed by something no one could see. You know, typical Victorian family bonding. A woman in black peering through the upstairs windows is seen, perfume drifting by even when the house is empty, footsteps traveling across rooms sealed shut, and a piano playing a few notes with no human fingers striking a key. Tour guides, their souls trying to keep things calm, it's just the house settling. Meanwhile, the ghost in the parlor is like, I literally just opened that door, Karen. One of the most chilling experiences comes from the contractors who worked on the mansion's restoration. More than one reported a woman suddenly appearing at the top of the servant case, expression blank before vanishing. Kind of reminds me of Rose Red. They didn't quit, but they did insist someone else walk in front of them from now on. The mystery behind the Iron Hood. Now, let's step into the cemetery, because Berwick, of course, had to have more than one unsettling landmark. The hooded grave belongs to a young woman who died in the 1800s under mysterious circumstances. Her family, clearly terrified of someone or something, constructed a heavy iron cage over her grave. Now, some say it was to protect her from grave robbers. Others say it was to protect the town from her. And honestly, when a grave looked like it's trying to keep something locked inside, I need explanation. For decades, people have claimed a woman weeping near the grave at night, a hooded figure crouched at its base, and the sound of fingernails scraping the insides of metal. And the grave hood, it rusts, it bends, it cracks, but is never removed because some families in town still believe whatever they locked in hasn't fully stopped moving. And Berwick doesn't stop there. It's a buffet of haunted little footnotes. Fishermen on the Susquehanna claim they heard voices rising from the water, especially near foggy stretches. Shadows in the valley. Several kids swear the same shadow figure follows people from alley to alley behind the old downtown shops. The train track apparition. Locals talk about a man who's seen walking along the tracks, only to vanish when the train horn blows. And the best part, no one in Berwick argues about the town being haunted. They just shrug, like, yeah, we have ghosts. Want a sandwich? So tonight, Nightly Haven, we wandered through the Berwick's darkest folklore. We stepped into the cursed geometry, peeked through haunted Victorian windows, and stood over a grave even the dead don't rest easy in. And whether these stories are superstitions, spirits, or simply the town's way of reminding us the history never dies, Berwick remains one thing above all. A place where the past doesn't stay buried and the present isn't always alone. So, if you ever visit Berwick and feel someone brush past you, don't panic. It might just be a ghost or a very unfriendly raccoon. Honestly, it could be either. Stay curious, stay brave, and as always, welcome home to Nightly Haven.